Welcome to the 20th Montgomery Summit. You're watching Monty TV. I'm Jackie Karsh, sitting down now with John Chambers, former CEO of Cisco Systems and founder and CEO of JC2 Ventures. John, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Jackie, it's going to be fun.
You've been through some of the most challenging times, the dot-com crash, the recession. What's the playbook for navigating a time like this where people are nervous?
Well, I have seen every movie at least twice. I've made every mistake at least once. And I have been through economic change that very few of the leaders have seen, including inflation, which is really hard to deal with. But the playbook is the same every time if it's done right. You want to basically understand there's uncertainty going on. It's better to be conservative this time. You want to be realistic how much of your challenges are created by your own execution, self-inflicted, how much are market-inflicted, and you have to deal with both. You then come up with the 3, 5, 7 programs, I like odd numbers, to go after this that focus on your cost control, that focus on your customer, that focus on your prioritization, that focus on what you're not going to do. You then set goals in the categories. You explain to your employees, your shareholders, your customers, your partners, what you're doing. You paint the North Star of how you come out of this. And I always like to do something that is a little bit thinking into the future that you may not have been putting as much effort into, but you're able to say, as an example of my confidence, here's what we're going to go. And then you execute off of it. And so it's fairly basic. Mistakes people make, they don't communicate regularly with the employees or the others. They make changes once, then twice, then 3 times. People are always worried about the next shoe to drop. They don't get very close to their employees. You get closer to your employees during the downturn than any other time. And you share with your customers very transparently where you are on the direction. So that's kind of the playbook I would run.
Are there any unique opportunities for startups during an economic downturn?
Yeah, well, that's the perfect question. The answer is startups break away during the economic downturns. It sounds counterintuitive, but almost every great company, if you really look, especially in tech, broke away during an economic slowdown. That's true of Amazon, Google, Cisco, other players on it. Because during normal times, like we just came through for the last 12 years, too many startups get funded. It's harder to differentiate. You've got almost unlimited cash. You have people chasing you who aren't focused on profitability. And if you're trying to make good decisions for long-term profitability and productivity, then that's a tug of war that's very hard. So I would view this as a chance to break away. And it's also important you transition as a startup, no longer about selling technology, but selling literally outcomes. The other key takeaway is I've never been more optimistic on the industry. This is a temporary phenomenon, and we'll learn from it, and we'll run companies and VC companies as well better as we go forward. But we're moving to a digital world. What does that mean? Every country, every company, every person goes digital. And we're just scratching the surface as 500 million devices get together. We're entering from the internet, which you know, Jackie, how much growth it was, and I was very happy and excited to be a part of that, to the cloud, which was gigantic. Now we're going into AI. I think that will be as big as the prior two combined. You're beginning to also get to where, as every industry is a digital industry, you no longer have to explain to the CEO why is this important. They get it. So that's the reason I'm optimistic on the industry. I think the correction, even though it is painful, was unfortunately necessary.
I want to touch upon JC2 Ventures.
Okay.
You know, you went from CEO of Cisco Systems to this. What are some lessons maybe you've carried over into your new endeavors?
Well, you know, it's a great question. I've never been asked quite that directly on it. First, I was honored to lead Cisco for 25 years, and we won every corporate social responsibility award there was to win. In my first decade there, we created 10,000 millionaires of our employees. When $1 million could buy you an unbelievable nice house in LA or in Silicon Valley, not anymore on it. And we were number 1 or number 2 in 12 product areas, number 2 and 3, and number 3 and 3, which has never been done before or since on it. So tremendous honor, and we changed the way the world works, lives, learned, and played. In other words, we weren't a technology company. we were part of everybody's life. So I love that and honored to be there. However, what I enjoyed most was growth. And what I enjoyed most was doing the acquisitions and scaling up our new internal products like video conferencing, which we invented with the capabilities at Cisco and announced it after the bird flu scare in Mexico in 2006. So I love that segment of the business. So now I take all the lessons learned, both good and bad, 180 acquisitions. A third I targeted to not be successful, and we did a better batting average than that, but learned how to apply to this new group. Now it's really fun because I coach young leaders like yourself about how do we build companies, how do we build culture, how do you handle the good times and the bad times. And while I'm a VC, I'm really a strategic partner with these companies, and that is fun. And then it's like a proud parent. I get to sit back and have a margarita and watch my team sweat during the hard times, but also watch them experience the joy and the leadership and build great cultures.